Welcome back. Okay. Oh! I didn't know that existed because of the combat logs. Those lot are in league with the animassers. Wow. Bounties! That's what we should be doing. They're all dead. Oh, he finally came for her. Task failed. Clandestine cargo. What? I had that? Lies in her bed, an all-out cushion propping her back upright, the blood pooled beneath an ash in her chest. Is tacky, nearly dry. A shattered glass rests on the floor beneath her dangling hand. You can feel the faint odor of her fading essence. You can reach out for it. You make contact with your medicine to turn a sensory input and experience. When it calms, you find yourself in the same room, lying in bed with a glass of brandy in your hand. Though the walls from the street outside come from sounds and screams and shattered glass in the calamity of angry mob. You take a sip, and it warms your gullet. Across the room, the door opens behind a patient. Sturdy push. Into the room walks Theos. The floorboards creak beneath deliberate steps. You wait until the last of your brandy was trickled down your throat before you speak.
I was a fool to think I could tame these people.
You came closer than most.
A fine epitaph.
No worse than any.
Ooh. You are concentrating, focusing with all of your energy. It feels as though you are diving into a stone wall over and over, but it cracks only unexpectedly, allowing the vast, vaguest wisp of thought to leak through.
What's in Twin Elms?
Did you pull that from my thoughts?
I've had time to practice.
Ah.
He walks over to a small table and raises a half-empty brandy bottle to eye level. He seems to approve of the selection and begins to reach for an empty glass.
I was saving that for someone.
Pity. You know this is how it has to be.
He draws a long curved knife from his belt, smeared with fresh blood. With his left hand, he gently pins your sternum as he raises the knife, and the other he points. Okay.
Prove it.
Ooh. Slips the knife between your ribs and pushes it through. Layers of tissue separate with brittle, papery stiffness, and blood wells up around the blade. A pulse of reflex causes you to drop your glass to the floor, and you hear it shatter. With the last of your strength, you take his knife hand. In both of yours, a question radiant in your mind. For an instant, to your great surprise, the pathway to his mind is left open to you, unguarded, and the answer comes. Simple. Cataclysmic in its reordering of your thoughts. As Lady Webb, you feel as though You have an answer you've reached for all your life, but in your own mind, her understanding lies just beyond your age. You look at Theos, with the wide eyes of someone seeing for the first time, and draw your last breath as a black, bulging darkness descends over you.
Smoke rises above the city walls in billowing plumes that blacken the sky like a storm. Behind the walls, the riots rage on. Known patrons of Animancy are forced into hiding as looters ransack their estates and make off with their possessions. Animancers are torn away from their families and dragged from their homes to be stoned to death in the streets. Word had spread immediately that Duke Avar had been assassinated, and that an Animancer was to blame. The city wasted little time in exacting revenge, and little effort into evaluating guilt. In the center of it all, Brackenberry Sanitarium burned. And down the lane, Hodred House, the last bastion of stability in the Deerwood, had fallen silent. Now safely outside the city gate, your path points eastward to Twin Elms, where Theos is bound, for reasons that remain mysterious as the Leaden Key itself.
So I guess this was Act 1? Huh. How do we get to... Twin Elms. Okay, so we gotta... Okay. The flood surpasses storm... Ah! In the British, Aloth draws up beside you. The fires of Defiance Bay casters, shivering, flickering light across one half of his face. The other is in darkness.
Please stop. I need to tell you something.
Go ahead.
I have not been entirely honest about my motives for traveling with you up to this point. When I finished my training in Adir, I was introduced to an organization. All I knew was that they were opposed to the unchecked spread of Animancy, and that they could guarantee me postings far away from the Seathwood my father and his Earl. At that time, it was enough. In the early years, I thought of them as many things. Hooded men, prudent teachers, the Leaden Key. Their rules were strict, but their guidance was clear. I sincerely believe they wanted to keep Kith from the folly of their own foolish ambitions. I came to the Deerwood a little over a year ago. My orders were to gather information on Animancy in the region. A senior contact met with me every few months to receive my reports and issue new leads. She sent me to Gilded Vale to keep an eye on events surrounding the local lord, but I lost track of her shortly after that. I don't know if she was reassigned, killed, or sacrificed the way you saw. By the time you met me, I'd been on my own for a couple of months. I needed some kind of direction. And after that scrape with the locals, I was ready to get out of town. But then you mentioned that you'd survived that Beowick, and I thought you might be able to put me back on the Leaden Key's trail. And I was correct in a way. What we found wasn't what I expected. I knew the Leaden Key was trying to stop Animancy, but I didn't realize how far they'd gone. Murder, sabotage, abandoning entire districts to shambling horrors. And now the whole city is up in flames. I'm still not sure about Animancy, but I know I've been following the wrong master. Please, accept my apology, and my service. Let me fight with you to stop Theos. That would be an honor.
Such was young and directionless. Leaden Key promised some of the structure was lacking, and they offered me a future far removed from service to my father's Earl. Possibly even more controversial in Ada than it is here. The practice has been outlawed for 600 years, but prohibition has a way of breeding curiosity. The success and relative acceptance that Animancy is found here spurred a renewed interest in Ada, though, and can have been recruiting more aggressively, and I was in the funnel. Okay, so essentially he was just recruited. Yeah. I don't see anything wrong with Animancy. Just the entire notion of let's try and prevent a school of magic, and then ban it, essentially, turning it into a dark art, which means it's unchecked and hidden from the world, essentially. Because, yeah, that's technically the worst side of things. The moment anything is hidden away, unregulated, out of the prying eyes. Run! Freedom! He arrives at last. Who the fuck are you? Laden Key was well. Omen and Rhodes flanked by an armed group of saviors, every word before whispering the next, finally. You should have remained in Defiance Mage. She drew a smile, pale and full, that drops below her recessed chin. But I'm glad you didn't have better sense. I've looked forward to this since you got in our way. Any last words after all the effort you've mustered? It'd be a shame to end it quickly. You won't give up, I can see that now. Our superiors are wise in wanting to stall you. Going to end this. Target the wizard!
No So much for you.
Okay, our two front runners. Come on. You got belts. Oh, he's already got a belt. What's his belt? Constitution. Okay. Rings. What's the Lord's authority? Lord's authority. Once per stronghold turn instant. You know what? You can have the pledge. Okay. He doesn't have a belt. You can have the might belt. Okay. Ooh, gloves. Those boots. Shockproof. What's that gloves? Might. So, we'll give it to you.
As you wish. So much for you. So much for you. No prison. I can make. Bring them down.
and if I find something good, you can have half.
No!
Okay. Fully explore the area. Someone can go grab that. How goes that? Has that still hasn't?
Of course.
Cave system. Elm Shore. That's the forest we're looking for the other guy. We're going to the cave. Please don't be a dragon. If it's a storm dragon, we need to get the fuck out. Because we have a target that we need to take over there.
Bring the...
Troll in the cave! This isn't just any cave system.
So much for you.
Interesting. Souls bound in eternity.
What's this?
Ah! Go down the steps! Go back! Go back!
Oh,
No prisoners!
Oh.
They won't see me coming.
Bones that are partially corroded. Coated with this thick slime. Okay. Souls bound in eternity.
I will walk unseen.
No! No prisoners! No prisoners! So much for you. That's it! As requested.
Ooh. Melee damage bonus.
I'll see what I can find.
Okay. Well, you're melee. Melee damage bonus.
Tell me,
Of course.
Interesting. Interesting. Oh. Okay, so I'm the long hunt. Woods, deep in the woods, running an Adra arch. Now the thing is, we've been to all these forests, and none of them had the arch. We haven't been to that one, so I think what I'm going to do is we're going to back to CAD. I'm going to go get our little hunter buddy. I'm going to remove our shot like blunderbuss guy. He's actually quite good, but just for that map.
The stones and the spirits in this place have begun to heal.
Okay, so then if I go here and we take you out and oh, she's busy, so we can't. No. Okay, we got to go back there eventually. Okay. So, I'm going to end the episode here.